Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Gage from Affordable Athletic Supplements and VMI Sports. Today I'm going to do a really quick video for you. I'm going to try to make it pretty short about gluten. So we get asked a lot between the dietary supplements. I get asked a lot from meal plans from clients. What's gluten? So I'm going to kind of give an interesting breakdown from a study that I just read that basically correlates gluten and lectin, and I'm going to kind of tell you the difference. So, title of this whole video, gluten free, is it real or not? If I'm in the way, I apologize. I can look at the camera. I'm going to try to stay out of the way. So first point I have, common gluten component of diets is grains. That's the main one that people try to avoid when they go on a gluten-free diet. Grains. It's going to be whole wheat, white, whole grain, etc. Any of those grains that you hear of. So an interesting fact about gluten-free. 1% of the U.S. population is intolerant to gluten. That's intolerant. I underlined it. That does not mean allergic. They're two different medical terms. So, for example, if you are one of those individuals that think you are allergic to gluten based on the reaction you've had in your body, you might want to pay attention to the difference between gluten and lectin. Because like I said, according to the CDC and the medical professionals, 1% of the population is intolerant. Allergic is nowhere in there. So, grains contain a high amount of lectin. What's lectin? Lectin is a plant protein that humans have difficulty digesting. Lectin basically came over evolution as a defense mechanism for plants, vegetables, fruits, or you can count plants if you count grain, to aggravate an animal's digestive system. It's the only defense they had to keep from being eaten. So over time, I'm not really going to give you a set amount of years, over time basically they developed this enzyme that more or less, it's a plant-based protein that when they eat it, it aggravates their intestines, it gets them sick. In some cases they die. For example, like a tomato. If a grasshopper eats a tomato, it dies in 2 minutes. So, to give you an example of how potent this plant protein actually is. So piggy fat, I made a little note here, piggy fat. Easiest analogy to think of, when farmers want to fatten up a pig for slaughter, what do? They feed them grain. Super simple analogy. Humans are no different. You know, we have a huge influx in our diet of grain. What happens when we eat all that grain, you know, you have your typical, what people view as a gluten reaction. Bloating, you know, upset stomach, gas, weight gain. It's no different, like I said, a farmer fattening up a pig. Same concept. So, when Americans cut gluten out of their diet, it isn't really gluten at all. For example, we're talking about grains specifically here. Grains have a very, very high concentration of lectin. So, it is the lectin that you've actually cut out of the diet. People avoid grains, you know, like the plague on a gluten-free diet, which is understandable because they have a bad reaction physically. So it makes them think that, you know, they're allergic, it upsets their stomach, what have you, when really it's not even the gluten, it's the lectin. It's the plant protein that your body's having a reaction with because it's designed not to be digested. It's designed to aggravate your digestional tract. So I made a little graph here, okay? So you've got lectin. Then what happens, you eat lectin, you get an upset stomach, sick, gassy, weight gain over time because it becomes a prominent component of your diet. Average American thinks it's gluten. Gluten reacts to my stomach, I get upset, I may be allergic. So what happens? Cuts out gluten, goes to a gluten-free diet. Follows the diet accordingly. No matter where they get it from, could be the doctor, could be, you know, dietitian, could be online. Follows gluten-free diet, does not realize that they're still eating lectin in other foods. So, what commonly happens with people we see that come in the shop on a gluten-free diet, and clients that I deal with all the time, is they'll start a gluten-free diet, they'll feel great. You know, 2-3 weeks into it, they'll feel great. They don't have the bloatiness, they're not as sick, maybe they'll even drop some weight. So they feel phenomenal. The issue you're still having is over time, as you continue to put lectins in your body from other foods, you're still getting the original source of the problem. You're still introducing that plant protein that's aggravating your digestional tract, which is still causing issues. So, next thing, continues diet accordingly, talking about the gluten-free diet, buys expensive gluten-free diet, food, books, or even supplements. I mean, we carry gluten-free supplements here in our store. And, you know, learning about this and wanting to get the information out to you guys really made me think about, you know, with all these clients that I have on a gluten-free diet, can I change their diet to pull lectin out instead of gluten? Can I really make a difference to pull these high concentration lectin foods out? Not just grain, there are other ones. Pull these out, put in some foods that maybe help as far as their digestional tract, their health, weight gain even, and make a difference. So, saying all this to you guys, if you have any questions about gluten, or maybe you're on a gluten-free diet and you have some input, I would greatly appreciate it. If this was helpful, please let me know. You can send me a message, wgnpersonaltraining.com. You can come in and see us at the shop at Affordable Athletic Supplements. Any questions or anything you guys want to learn about or see, be more than willing to research it. So, have a good day, guys.